الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. كيف حالكم? How are you? الله يبارك فيكم. How's your families? Good. Alhamdulillah. How are the children? Good. Barakallahu fikum. That's how people from Philadelphia, that's how they always start. So actually, I just thought, how are you? How's the family? How's the children? Barakallahu fikum. Where are the children? Where are they? The boys, the men, young men, where are they? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, where are they? Where are they? I need to see them if they're here. They need to come in. They need to come in. I want to hold this up. Somebody please go get the future of the community so we can have them present. Please. Whenever we're discussing something about society, let me start at the top. Whenever we're discussing something about aqidah, or we're discussing something about ibadah, or we're discussing fiqh, they need to be present so they won't have the excuse that they didn't hear it. And they need to have the responsibility impressed upon them, barakallahu fikum. And so if you're their father and you're a believing, practicing Muslim, they have to want to be like you. And on sisters, they have to want to be like you, like their mother. If you're a practicing, responsible Muslim, they have to want to be like you, barakallahu fikum. You know, today they have separations between us. They try to separate people. I don't know how this affects the Muslim community. But for the other people, they have us separated according to generations. They give generations names. You know that, right? It's not like us. We're Salafi, mashallah. Our generations depend upon what? The first, the Salaf Salih. We depend upon that generation. They were the best teachers. They taught the Tabi'in. They were the best teachers. They taught a whole generation. You understood that, right, teachers? You understand that? The companions are the best teachers that ever were because they succeeded in teaching a whole other generation. Now, they're the most successful of the teachers. Murabbiyin. They were the best at it. They were the best. But today, you know, in today's world, they have people separate. I'm a baby boomer. Where are the millennials here? Any millennials? Good. You don't identify with it. You don't know what it is. Before, people who are old people are transitionals. So you have transitionals and baby boomers and Generation X and millennials, digital natives. You know what that is? A digital native. That's a child who never lived without a computer. From the time of their birth on, they live in the digital world. They don't know anything about the world before there was computers. That is how children are today, correct? They don't know anything about the world without a computer, without the digital world, barakallahu fikum. So now, no present yet? Where are they? Where are they? You can see them. All right. We won't hold that against them yet. We won't hold that against them yet, barakallahu fikum. I have been asked to speak about the minhaj Salafi regarding Islah and Mujtama'. Let me change that. I suggested that I do it, barakallahu fikum, when the brothers accepted it from me. I want you to think about a beehive for a minute. You with me? You've seen one, right? Pictures of one. What is it? It's a busy place, isn't it? It's a busy place, right? Everybody knows their job, correct? And they maintain discipline in that job. Some of the jobs, you have your workers, those who defend the hive. You have the leadership and the building of a new leadership with the queens and whatnot. Sheikh Salih al-Sheikh, Habibullah Ta'ala, said that society's goodness or its evil depends upon the members of the hive. And he said the members of the hive are the people's families in their houses. All of the houses, and the families in the houses, they are what makes up the society, so that depending upon If the majority of households are good, then you're going to have a good society. And if the majority of households are evil, you're going to have an evil society, because these are the ones who contributed to it. Now, that's not what we were raised on, you know. We were raised on pointing fingers at government, those in charge, the mayors, everybody. It's all their fault. Even though, under our own power and our influence, we carried about 5 or 6 members of that society that we could train to go out and do 2 things, correct? They would do what? They would be a benefit to their home and a benefit to the society. And some of the Saudi schools point out that we will point to them the ni'mah inside themselves, built upon their religion, and then we would guide them to whatever ni'mah was in the society so they could take advantage of it. Now, and not be led astray. That takes instilling certain values that Islam carries with it all the time. That word's familiar, right? So we hear the Islamic value. But see, the Salaf Salih lived by Islamic values, and they never left them. And they weren't weak in applying them. And then anybody who wants the religion, they can apply these values and then wind up firm in the religion and thereby pass those values to their offspring. Parents must focus on their offspring. Parents must not be deviated from focusing on their offspring. Now, are we in agreement to that? You must not deviate from that. Must be an excellent teacher when it comes to that. Must be an excellent cook when it comes to that. Must be an excellent health expert when it comes to that. All those things are required from you. So what are these values? Let's define the value in Arabic first, the way the ulama defined it. هي مجموعة من المبادئ والقواعد المنظمة للسلوك الإنساني التي حددها الواحد فقط لتنظيم حياة الإنسان وتنظيم علاقاته بغيره على النحو يحقق الغاية من وجوده في هذا العالم على أكمل وجه. Islamic values. Now, Islamic values synonymous with morality, synonymous with being moral, are a set of principles and methods, methodology, whose limits are set exclusively by revelation. With me? What's test the morality? Revelation. What's the limitation? Where does it come from? The revelation. The purpose of. For the purpose of structuring human life. Because as you teach, when you take the true wilaya of your youth and do not leave the wilaya of youth to strangers, as some of us have been doing, when you take the wilaya, they must be taught about human life, they must be taught about the universe, and they must be taught about where human beings actually go when they die. So the expectations will be built upon that. Their social expectations will be built upon what? That reality. So, for the purpose of structuring human life and structuring the interaction between the creation in a way that completely fulfills its purpose in this worldly life. Is that clear? Is that clear? One more time. Values, i.e., morality, morals are a set of principles and methods. What's method mean? The way you do it. Whose limits are set exclusively by revelation That means if somebody's going to say that this is a moral thing, if somebody has a moral outrage, his moral outrage has to be something legal from what? From the religion. You can't have a moral outrage if it's not based upon the religion. You can't be morally outraged if the morality doesn't come from the religion. If it doesn't come from the religion, then where does it come from? About the haq to bounty? No. There's nothing at the haq except bounty. Bounty, falsehood. Nothing after the truth except falsehood.
I say that word.
Bounty. Where I make by revelation, what's the purpose? For the purpose of structuring human life. Human life has a structure to it. Human life is administrated in a structure. Is that not right? It's in a structure. Human life is administrated. We have the rules of its administration. It comes from the Quran and Sunnah. How human life is to be structured. And structuring how we interact. Interaction with ourselves and the creation. In a way that completely fulfills. You can be successful. Now, in a way that makes you what? Successful. That completely fulfills the purpose in this worldly life. What's the purpose of this worldly life? Hey now. Ibadillah. Completely fulfills the purpose. What are some of the special qualities of these values? Islamic values are on Rabbaniyya. They're all Rabbaniyya in nature. They all come from a Rabb. They all come from Rabb al-Alameen, meaning they are all based upon the Kitab and the Sunnah. Now, all values are Rabbaniyya. The descriptions and the application of these values and morals come from Allah. Therefore, these values, these morals, have the following qualities that are always with them. They never change. They don't go through changes. And when something doesn't go through a change, that means it's what? It's firm. You can depend upon it. The first one is they originate from revelation. As we said earlier, they come from revelation. Because these values are from revealed texts, they are sacred, they are pure, and they contain honor. What are they? They're sacred, they're pure, and they contain honor. These three things are the most complete characteristics for the development of the human soul, human mind, and human character. That its instructions are sacred, instructions to it are pure, and the instructions bring honor. وَلَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ وَحَمَلْنَاهُ عَلَى الْبَرِّ وَالْبَحْرِ كده. That we honored Bani Adam and we carried them across the land and sea, the Quran says. At first Allah gave what to Bani Adam? Gave Bani Adam what? Karamna. Kana Kariman. Bani Adam is Kariman if he obeys. If he doesn't obey, then he's worse than what? An animal. How? How? Tell me how. How is a Bani Adam, if he doesn't follow the text in the society, he's worse than an animal? Tell me how. Oh, boy, I got hands here. I don't know.
Because he's obeying his nafs.
Huh?
He's obeying his nafs or whatever Allah gave him Enough, and he's strictly obeying law.
Brother Harris, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes.
No honor.
No honor. Yes, brother. I forgot your name. I made honor with you. Yes. His? Jamal, yes, brother. He's not fulfilling his purpose. Here, brother. Yes. That's what somebody said they were going to say that. Is that what you were going to say? Oh, brother.
Animals do what they're supposed to do, what they're created to do, and you're transgressing from your desires.
Now, very close, very close. If a person doesn't do what he's been commanded to do with knowledge, he is following his hawa. Now, and his negative hawa will harm him. Now, yes or no? Hawa will harm him. What did he knows the truth and doesn't want it. Animals never do anything on purpose to harm themselves. Is that true or not? Animals never, ever put their claws, beaks, wings, hooves in a direction when they smell, see, or notice harm will come to them in the end. So when a human being, as you said, he has the heart, he has the hearing, and the eyes. These three are the paths of learning. Once he learns through these paths, and he ignores all three of those, and he does what he knows is going to bring harm to him, or his family, and his society, because we're all connected in that way, he is worse than an animal. Because animals never do that. Barakallahu feekum. So they originate from revelation. They're sacred, pure, and they contain honor, which are the most complete characteristics for the development of the human soul, the human mentality and the character. Allah says, وَمَا كَانَ لِمُؤْمِنٍ وَلَا مُؤْمِنَةٍ إِذَا قَضَى اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ أَمْرًا أَنْ يَكُونَ لَهُمُ الْخِيَرَةُ مِنْ أَمْرِهِمْ وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا مُبِينًا. Translated to mean, it is not for a believer, man or woman, when Allah and His Messenger have decreed a matter, that they should have any option in their decision. And whoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he is indeed strayed in a plain error. The error of a strayed person who attempts to make Allah's commands optional. I mean, I have a choice when I know I don't. Not only deals with the effects in the hereafter, but also includes straying from the correct way of gaining benefit in this world. So when groups of people decide they're not going to obey, especially with knowledge, if they decide they're not going to obey and they have knowledge, whom yubsiruna, as Adam Talmud work, Adam Talmud, the verse says about them, whom yubsirun. They have basira and they still disobey. When groups of people disobey, when they have basira and have been given basira by their teachers, what happens to them? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes away, number one, their safety and their security. Because safety and security belong to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He blesses the servants with it when they obey Him. And when they don't obey Him, especially after they have been given basira, He takes it from them. And they are no longer safe. And they're not secure. But y'all will come to that verse, be that afterwards. Another description of human values coming from the revelation is that they are comprehensive. What's that big word mean? They're, no more. They are.
Covers everything.
Now, they're complete. Big word means complete. They're comprehensive. They cover, these values cover every part of life. We have to learn how to cover it with them and use it for that. And don't say, I didn't find that in Islam, so I need to go to these people over here. Or I didn't find that in Islam, so I need to change the direction of the religion, and we're gonna focus on it. We're gonna have another priority. No, it covers everything. These values include every aspect of human life. How many? All. These values and character traits accompany people when they're at home or on their jobs. Wherever, no matter where they are, it's with them. They're meant to control the behavioral relationships between a person and his family and others. Who? Person and his family and others. To control it. To keep it in proper check. These values of morality, this is including all administrative bodies and including the relationship between people and their governments. All of it. These values of morality are also control the behavior in the presence of disagreements and opposing opinions that erupt into society from time to time. Now, no matter what society you belong to, Allah lam yashtart and yakun bidun them. Allah didn't make as a condition that society that we live in is going to be totally perfect in this world without sinners and sin. The majority of people in the society have to be righteous. Not everybody. Because some will have to do what? Make Tawbah. People have to make Tawbah. And there's room there for the Tawbah, people. There's room for Tawbah for people. But the majority, the great mass of the majority, has to want righteousness to bring righteousness to a society. Righteousness, the blessing of safety and security and barakat, does not come from people. It comes from Allah Azza wa Jal when the people submit to Him. If they will not submit to Him properly, since He controls it, they won't get it. These values of morality also control his behavior in the presence of disagreements and opposing opinions that erupt into society. When something happens in society, we don't go off. Therefore, Islamic values are complete in directing the youth in every way that allows them to be productive members of the society and avoid being an obstruction to progress in the society. The Shabab, from the 15 to how old? 40. Not children, but Shabab. Shabab does not mean child, and Shabab does not mean teenager. It means the one who has reached young maturity and there's a direct and a proper head. There's a little between a child and an adult. It doesn't stretch from 15 to 25. Like some people think. That's improper tarbiyah. Aisha radiallahu anha married the Prophet when she was 6 and moved in with him when she was 9. That means she was a woman. That means she was a woman. Osama bin Zayd led the army when how old was he? He led against Mu'tah when he was how old? Osama. 16 or 17. 16 or 17. 16 or 17. So we have a wrong idea about how long we wait to give our people who are going to take over the society, to give the responsibility. We keep telling them, wait, you're too young for that. He's bad, but you don't correct him. You tell him, people say, he'll grow out of that. Well, he's 15 years old. When are you going to grow out of it? He's fully grown. When's he going to grow out? He grow out. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. We start spanking little ones at 10 when they miss the salah. Is that right or wrong? Unless you thought that was some kind of metaphor for talking loud. That's a metaphor. You just speak loud to them. You don't need to spank them. That's not a metaphor. That's a tap. Don't miss the salah. At 10, we start disciplining them about their religion. At 10, we begin to teach them about the most important act of worship after the Shahada. How old? 7. See, right in front of us is our direction of what we should be doing and how we should be viewing it. If we're going to pay attention and not busy ourselves with affairs that really have nothing to do with us from time to time. All men, your wives and children, sisters, your children, you have in your hand the leadership of your portion of society. You must take that leadership after learning how to do it, and you must not be sleepy with it, or too busy on the phone with it, or got your tablet and you talking about some nonsense, or social media. There's nothing social in the social media. It's actually pretty anti-social. Pretty gossipy, and this one did that, or spreading fear. You know how we see a very ugly thing? The first thing you want to do is tell somebody else the ugly thing happened. So a lot of us take part in this spreading fear to people. Oh man, something just happened. Let me tell somebody else. Well, the baby was just born in good health. Oh yeah, mashallah, good. That's not juicy. You ain't spreading that. You can spread some stuff. This is kind of I don't like the word psychology. It's kind of a psychology. It's psych. We're being psyched. Therefore, these values are being described as comprehensive, covering all fields of human activity. It is a cultivation, that means education too, that gives the young servant full responsibility and balance by serving Allah. The revelation, in many cases, faces toward the young. Now, aywa. The youth of the cave, right? The youth that stood with Musa against Fir'aun, meaning they stood with him because they didn't want Fir'aun to make fitna for them. The youth who first became Muslim around the Messenger of Allah, the youth, the Qurra, the 70 of them who were all young, who used to teach the people in outside of Medina until all 70 of them were killed. They were 25. 27, 28. I even taught it was how old?
You became Muslim?
Yes.
15?
15? 10. The Shabab were the main ones that became Muslim. Let us know that you have to keep focus on them. You have to be the ones to nurture them so they become proper Shabab. And don't walk around talking about, wait, young ones, I need a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, just something I want to show you. Young man, right there looking at me, right there. Yes, What would you like to do with your life? You want to learn about Quran? And then what? About his prayers. I mean that. What about work? What kind of work do you want to do? How old are you? 11. What kind of work do you want to do? 7. Sorry. 7. Do you have any idea about how you want to work? What you want to do? What do you want to do?
I was for my parents, a job.
What kind of job? What do you want to do? What kind of job? He said, I'm sitting over here, this man is putting all this pressure on me. Go on, son, go ahead. What do you want to... Have you thought about it? Maybe... It's all right. It's barakallahu fikum. And give me an 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 13. Where are you? Hey, stand up there, man. Huh. Go ahead, stand up. What do you want to do? What do you see in this world that you want to do? Study? You want to study Medina? Barakallahu fikum. Take him seriously about that. Taking it serious. Anyone else? No matter what it is, tell me what it is. You know, he wants to get back up that top. I need a 15-year-old. 15. 16. They're not here. 14. What do you want to do? I'm sorry. What do you want to do?
R&B Taalib Abdullah in the University of Medina.
Okay.
And after that, I want to go to college, become an engineer, and maybe go in the field of medicine.
That's a lot. وفقكم الله. الله يوفقكم. الله يوفقكم. الله يوفقكم. Allah يوفقكم. Because there's a medical school, they're building a medical school on the campus of Medina. Now, there's a medical school being built. Yeah.
That's ilm dunya, though, right?
Yani, someone said just now, that's knowledge of the dunya. If we don't have knowledge of it, then who do we leave that knowledge to? And then what happens to us? Then what happens? You are supposed to have knowledge of the deen wa dunya ma'an. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sakhara dunya to you. He subdued the dunya to people. And all of its knowledge so that they would use it in his way. So yes, it's a job that deals with one of the sciences of this world, but the best ones to do that job is the believer. Malakallah people. The best one to do that job is the believer. Malakallah people. Sheikh Al-Albani, what did he do for a living?
Fix watches.
He repaired watches. Repaired watches. Malakallah people. So don't tell you. That's another thing. You want to tell them if they choose something in society that they see and it's halal to do, then encourage them in it. And let them have access to be trained in it. Religion, now, because that's what they get in the house and in the masjid and from their teachers. Also, the men, particularly men, have to have skill. Who is going to build? You know, ladies, I don't mean any harm, but you see a lot of women talking about what they want to do today. What they want to do. So I would direct them to how they came here. You didn't cross a bridge, go under a tunnel, or come to a street that a woman built. Do you understand that? That is the actual way the world works. Then men must take into their hands the dangerous job of building society, the physical building. Men did that. And in the Muslim world, men do that. And in Medina, the Turks built those tunnels and those bridges. Muslims. So now, you have to have that. Deen wa dunya ma'an, barakallahu feekum.
Comprehensive, right?
Comprehensive. And here's the verse. Therefore, these values are described as being comprehensive and complete, covering all fields of human activity. It is a cultivation that gives the young servant full responsibility and balance while serving Allah. Allah says, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين. Translated to say, O Muhammad, that verily my salah and my sacrifice here means what? No. It means dhabiha from animals. Sacrifice means dhabiha here. So it means, and my sacrifice, my living and my dying are for Allah, the Lord of the world. He has no partner. And this I have been commanded, and I am the first of the Muslims. Imam Sa'di rahimahullah ta'ala said about this verse, and this is verse 162 and 163 of Surah Al-An'am. قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي. My salah, and what we're doing these days in the Eid, the biha, my salah, nusuki, he said, I dhibhi. It means my sacrifice of the animals. Why? Why these two? لِلشَّرَفْ هَاتَيْنِ الْعِبَادَتَيْنِ وَفَضْلِهِمَا. Because these two forms of ibadah have much nobility in them. And they have virtue in them. Salat and dhibh. وَدَلَالَتِهِمَا عَلَى مُحَبَّةِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى وَإِخْلَاصَ الدِّينَ لَهُ. And these two acts of worship, they indicate that a slave has sincerity to Allah and that he loves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These two acts. How? وَتَقَرَّبْ إِلَيْهِ بِالْقَلْبِ وَاللِّسَانِ, and that he wants to get near to Allah with his heart and his tongue. وَالْجَوَارِحِ, in the salah. He gets near to Allah how? He gets near to Allah with his heart and his tongue and all his limbs. وَبِالذِّبْحِ, and in his sacrifice of the animal. And because in this, he is giving up something that all souls love. What is it? All souls love what? Loves his money. His money. He's giving up his money. He's giving his money up for an act of worship. He's spending money on an act of worship. So he said, what all souls love, min al-mal, from his wealth. He did this purely to please Allah by sacrificing this animal and thereby giving his money up because Allah commanded it. So he's doing it. هُوَ أَحَبَّ إِلَيْهَا هُوَ Allah. He gave it up for something that was more beloved to his soul, and that is Allah. By doing his dhabiha. وَمَنْ أَخْلَصَ فِي صَلَاتِهِ, and here's the point. مَنْ أَخْلَصَ فِي صَلَاتِهِ وَنُسُكِهِ, and anyone who is sincere in his salah and in his dhabiha, استاذر ذلك إخلاص لله في سائر أعماله. It means that it's to be expected from this person that he will have the same sincerity in all of his other deeds. All of them. Therefore, making it what? Comprehensive. Mahyaya wa mamati. My life and my death. I, ma'atiyahu fi hayati, what comes to me in my life. وَمَا يَجْرِي اللَّهُ عَلَيَّ, and what Allah places upon me in my life. وَمَا يَقْدُ عَلَيَّ فِي مَمَاتِي, and whatever He ordains for me in my death. All of it is لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. It's for Allah, رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ. لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ. He has no partner. No partner في عبادة كما أنه ليس له شريك في ملك وتدبير. Just like he has no partners in what? No partner in his ownership and in his administration of all the affairs of the universe. وَلَيْسَ هَذَا إِخْلَاص لِلَّهِ ابْتِدَاءً مِنِّي. And the verse means that also that this ikhlas to Allah is not, it doesn't come from me. Prophet ﷺ said, it doesn't come from me. I didn't start this. Rather, وَبِدْعًا أَتَيْتُهُ مِنْ لِتَوْقَيْ نَفْسِي. It's not a bid'ah that I brought, from myself, this ikhlas. What is it? He said, بَلْ بِذَلِكَ أُمِرْتُ. I was commanded. أمر حتما, immediately. لا أخرج من تتبع إلا بامتثالي. And I will not leave following, rather I will do what? I will obey it. وأنا أول المسلمين. And when he says, I'm the first of the Muslims, what does that mean? I'm the first of the Muslims. Who knows? I'm the first of the Muslims. From this ummah. From this ummah. Because everybody before him, Isa and Musa and Ibrahim were all Muslims. So he's the first Muslim from this ummah, barakallahu fikum. Whoever considers the books that have been written by the Imams of Islam as the books of hadith and fiqh and etiquette, adab, will realize that the life of a Muslim, from the time he awakes from sleep until he goes back to sleep again, is constantly revolving between Allah's rulings. Everything. Open your eyes, ruling takes place. Get off the bed, ruling takes place. Go to make wudu, ruling takes place. Go to make salah, ruling takes place. Come into the masjid, there's a ruling. Leave in the masjid, there's a ruling. Travel in the car, there's a ruling. No. The ruling over his actions are either obligatory or forbidden or disliked or highly recommended or allowed. Every single step is ruled by that ruler, subhanahu wa ta'ala. There isn't a situation except that the scholars of Islam have given direct evidence for its ruling, or they have explained how the text should be understood. From the descriptions of Islamic value is that they are balanced. وسط. وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةٍ وَسَطًا. Thus we have made you a just and best nation. The Ummah of Islam is the middle course in its beliefs between extremism in beliefs and complete abandonment of religious principles altogether. Their Islamic values are permanent and they're consistent. How are they? They're permanent. They're consistent. These values are built upon the Islamic legislation. One of the Islamic legislative description is permanency and consistency. Therefore, the main source of character and values calls to the consistency and permanency of these values. Furthermore, these values contain the proper guidance to correct individuals and to correct society. These values can correct a society. Whoever says they cannot is a liar. Whoever says we should deviate from the values of the religion and take on another value and adjust it to the religion is a liar. Or he's mistaken. What's the proof? We already have a society that was already changed from shirk to Islam. And they spread from there around the world and met different societies and different cultures. India. At one point, the Muslims ruled India. Now, is that true? India has what was known as what? Famous about India. Caste system. Caste system. C-A-S-T-E. Smartphone. Look it up, please. Somebody get it. Smartphone. Do we have a hotspot in here?
Caste system was like 5 groups, I believe, like separated.
Based upon what?
Class.
Right. And?
Race.
And
color.
Yeah.
Color.
Right. Color. They had light skin privilege. What is it? India. So they got it cast. You're right. I want to hear what this smartphone. Because our class is going to be comprehensive and interactive and all that. You're going to take out the phone. Take out the smartphone. I don't need to sit there and look at me. And I want this aisle free. And everybody at the Voodoo station. Now.
So that means we should partake in everything in part of life.
You should take part of that which is halal to take part of.
Right. That's
No.
what I mean.
Halal. And according to your actual ability to do so. According to your actual ability to do so.
I mean, like government too, right?
It depends on what government that is. And somebody stop them and ask me questions. No more questions. Caste system is C-A-S-T-E?
Yes.
C-A-S system.
Referred to frequently in the ancient Indian text. The 4 classes were Brahmins, the priestly people, the Kshatriyas, also called Rajanyas, who were rulers, administrators, and warriors. The Vaishyas, which are artisans, merchants, tradesmen, and farmers, and Shudras, which were laboring class.
No untouchables?
Yeah, they have
Right.
The untouchables. What was their characteristic?
They're really dark.
They were dark. Dark. The untouchables were dark. The darkest people of India, under that system,
known as Dalits.
it may be. In other words, if you was black, stay back. And Islam came and wiped that away. There was somewhere, but at one point in Indian history, Islam came and took that caste system away. Or curtailed it seriously. And there was no history of jihad or fighting in India. It was by dawah. It was by calling the Indians to the truth. And they had governments built upon caste system. And they had governments built upon color. It was by calling them to the truth. So people call people to the truth, and they believe in that truth, and they hold by that truth, they'll have success. Unless they don't believe that. Or they're tired of waiting, or whatever. Or somebody's saying there's something else we could be doing because, we got a special situation. This is not earth here. This is building. It's compatible with human nature. The fitrah Allah has placed into human beings. Allah says, what the values of what? Compatible with being what? With being a person. They're compatible with being a person. فطرة الله التي فطر الناس عليها. فَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ حَنِيفًا. فطرة الله التي فطر الناس عليها. It kind of got turned around. لا تبديل لخلق الله. Say, Muhammad, turn your face toward the religion of pure Islamic monotheism, the Tawheed, Allah's fitrah, with which He has created human beings. No change that there be in the khalqillah, meaning in the religion of Allah. No change. That is a straight religion, but most men don't know it. The one who legislated these values and morality also regulated the human soul. The human cannot function properly unless it returns to the source that regulated it and gave it its nature. Cannot be successful without that. This is the fitrah, the nature that Allah is pleased with. The fitrah is, what's the word? Fitrah is what? At-Tawheed. The fitrah is Tawheed. Now, every deed and degree of morality in the human soul gains strength from Allah's Tawheed. Allah's value being consistent with human nature means that they are real and not imaginary. All the values of what? They are real, they are not imaginary. These values do not command responsibilities that are humanly impossible. Rather, these values agree with the needs of people without contributing to a flow of unreasonable passions while doing so. Rather, the servant only gets what he needs. Therefore, he is cultivated, taught in the best possible way to benefit him in this worldly life as well as in his future life. And now I can continue some of this later, shout out on these values home. What time is it now? Let's deal with the topic. We want to deal with the members of the society. This is the values they'll be carrying into the society. And without some of these values, you don't understand. Sheikh bin Baz rahimahullah ta'ala says about rectification of society. Societies, both Islamic and non-Islamic, are in dire need of rectification. We have to fix them, improve them. The Islamic society in particular is in need of it. The rectification, this Islah is achieved by following the method used by the best of a Muslim nation, the one who is the beloved of Ar-Rahman and the purest among his servants, our leader Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He used what? He had a method that he used. Now, he had a method. There's a method. It's a known fact that the essential principles of social rectification, both Islamic and non-Islamic societies, are the steps that were implemented by the leader of the messengers and the best of the prophets when he received the most excellent peace and blessings from his Lord. These steps were also instituted by his companions, beginning with the Khulafa al-Rashidun, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Umar al-Khattab, Uthman ibn Affan, and Ali ibn Taalib. May Allah be pleased with them. It is also a well-known fact that our Prophet ﷺ initially implemented these principles in Mecca and then later in Al-Madinah, showing that there are two types of what? Two types of governing bodies that Muslims deal with. They deal with one that is non-Muslim and is in control, one which is Muslim and is in control. And the two methods are not the same. It's also a fact that he initially implemented these principles in Mecca and then later on in Al-Medina. The renowned Imam Malik ibn Anas was also the Imam of the people of Darul Hijrah in Medina of his era and well-known scholar of jurisprudence from the four Imams said, لَن يَصْلِحْ آخَرَ هَذِهِ الْأُمَّةِ إِلَّا مَنْ أَصْلَحَ أَوَّلَهَا. Nothing will correct the later part of this ummah except that which brought it correction initially. The people of knowledge from Imam Malik's era and those after that time have unanimously acknowledged this statement, which means the principle which rectified the ummah initially was adherence to the book of Allah and the sunnah of the noble messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Therefore, this will be the determining factor in the rectification of this ummah until the last day. Furthermore, whoever desires social rectification for an Islamic society or any of the world societies through means other than those applied by the predecessor of this ummah is mistaken and is not an advocate of the truth. Further, the path to human rectification and the human elevation to the correct path is the gradual approach that was methodically implemented by our Prophet ﷺ and subsequently implemented by his companions and those who follow them in virtue until the last day. The method of social rectification requires, here are the tools, it requires actual regard for the noble Quran. Actual regard. What does that mean? And this, to have sincerity to the book. Now, Adinu Nasiha, Qulna liman, Qala lillahi. He says, so it says Allah and then Allah, then his kitab. Allah and then his kitab. And you still to the very day, no harm meant. It just means that people aren't paying attention somewhat. If you say, what does nasiha meant? People still say it means advice. That's one meaning. If you ask what does nasiha mean in this hadith, people say advice. But you know the first one is Allah. So you know you can't advise Allah. So nasiha doesn't mean advice. What does nasiha mean in this hadith? Huh? Right. And also ikhlas. It means sincerity. Huwa yani I'm trying to remember the Sheikh Amsadi's words. He said it was to give rights in these 5 areas completely. It was to give these 5 areas complete rights. So to the book, to regard the book, you have to do what? What's sincerity to the book? Read it. Go on. Follow it. Understand. Ponder. He meant saying reflect, ponder. Implement. He said work by it, means implement.
Teach it.
Teach it. One more. Memorize it. Memorize it. Is that what we're doing? The majority of us. The great masses of us. Is that what we're doing? Huh? Allahu Akbar. Break out the books. Let's see. You see? Break them out. Women don't talking, would they? Break them out. In the masajid, in various countries around the world, when you walk into the masjid, it's like this. At Jummah, it's like, unless lessons are going on from the teacher, people are busy doing what? What are you doing? They read. Hymns. They read. They're reading. It's quiet. Because they're busy. And no harm, I know you love your brothers, but nobody's going, Islam Alaikum! No one is doing that. I'm talking about thousands of people in the masjid. Nobody's going, Islam Alaikum! Wait, Islam! Yo, come here. Hey, man, let me talk to you. I ask you, again, in the majority of the masjids you've been to, is it quiet and the people reading? I'm asking. No. So we put that on our list. Must do. Must get busy. Must get busy with it. Must get busy with it as adults, and must busy the children with it. A brother and another brother were talking one day. He said, you know what? The Americans ain't got no identity yet. First is wearing Pakistani clothes. Now wearing Arab clothes. This actually happened. Brother was amazed. He wanted to vent. So, with the Americans, we ain't got no identity. You mean you don't know who you are? Congratulations. So, the brother asked him, wearing Pakistani clothes and wearing Arab clothes and complaining about the dress. Because that's what he thought that identity was. So the other brother asked him, he said, well, the places where I've been, I can tell you two things that some of the American brothers and sisters haven't done yet, that I've seen almost everybody around the Muslim world do. He said, what? He said, well, one, they built masjid from the ground up, and you can't mistake that building for something else. It's a masjid. Whether you go to Mali, they built it from Mali mud. If you went to Indonesia, they built it from Indonesian trees. No matter where you go, they took the material from the earth, they bought the earth, and they built the masjid. Because their messenger Sallallahu did what? When he got to Medina, he built a masjid. He placed the house of Allah in the place that identifies who? The worshippers of Allah. The second thing is, the brother asked me, said, the other thing is that no matter where I've been, there's always been children in the masjid being taught the good. All around the world. All around the world. You want to talk about what's all around the world? That's all around the world. That's what's around the world. And it's been around the world. It's not something we just woke up to about 5 months ago and started blasting off. That's always been around the world. Man nafasaka fi dunya nafisu fil akhirah. Who wants to compete with you about who's going to run the world? Compete with them about who's going to go to heaven. Compete about who's going to go to paradise. You got time for talk. Too busy trying to get there. Show my people how to get there. There's no corporate job waiting. It's death and the hereafter. There's no cuties waiting. Nobody waiting to be cute. It's death and the hereafter. Nobody reaches the deathbed unless he's sad. Everybody's sad on the deathbed. Why? I could have done this. I should have done that. I could have given this. I could have put my time better. Don't waste your time. That's the identity. That's the identity, brothers and sisters. Get with the identity. Shawlu qulubukum bil Quran. Whose advice was that? Abdullah Mas'ud. Shawlu qulubukum bil Quran. Get your heart straight with it. Go to it. If you go to a Quran class, don't be embarrassed about you can't pronounce the words right. Don't be embarrassed. That's not something to be embarrassed about. Because we're adults. And adults, we take things very personal. Adults are very personal. They're not like kids. The kids, all right, I got it wrong. Little ones. But as we get grown, we start getting personal. So my Quran is not as pretty as my kufi. I'm saying, so what? Do it. Is it not a reward for stuttering? Is it not a reward for stuttering? So go ahead and stutter. Get the reward, brothers and sisters. Go ahead and study. Fill up the masjid with the murmur of the book instead of the gossip of the people. Fill it up with the murmur of the book. Learn the book. And those of us, mashallah, whoever goes after all of it gets how much? Whoever goes after all gets what? Half? So go after it. The reward of the human being is given to him and her when they struggle, even though they know there's a hardship ahead of them. It's when they struggle, when they know they're going to have a hardship, and they go ahead and they struggle anyway. They don't say, it's going to be too hard, so we're not going to do it. That's too hard, I can't do it. Allah SWT told the Prophet said that prayer is what? He said its cover is what? Its hijab is what? Makara. The hijab of paradise is makara. It's hardship, or what appears to be something difficult. وَحِجَابُ النَّارِ shahawat. It's people following their own lust. Those who have knowledge, and even those who don't have knowledge, who follow their own lust instead. And they think it's going to be easy just to follow their own lust, to lay back. That's for them people. And then we start getting little groups just from people that they can read the Quran. I can't read it because, I can't read because I'm black. I can't recite because I'm from Brooklyn. I can't recite because I got one eye. What's the reason? Bring the reasons. No, I can't recite because I don't dedicate that breath that Allah gave me to it. Don't dedicate that time He gave me to it. I don't dedicate that heartbeat to it. I refuse to do it. And instead, I need to find someone to blame for the reason why I'm not doing it. No, brothers and sisters. You and I come out of the grave by ourselves, totally alone. We're put in the grave by ourselves. We're totally alone. The angels ask us 3 questions. They don't ask about Bulan and Bulana. They ask about what? Math? Men. Rabbuk. What does Men Rabbuk here mean? What does it mean? And now, go ahead.
Who is your Lord?
Who is your Lord? But some people assume that it means Rububiyah. The angel is not asking about Rububiyah. The angel is asking about Uluhiyah. There's no adab connected to Rububiyah. The angel is asking you, who is your God? Men ta'bud. Who did you worship? Go look it up. Who are Rububiyah b'ma'na Uluhiyah? You're being asked who did you worship. So we don't get mistaken. She's asking who sent the rain. La. Because Paul agreed that Rububiyah, they agree on Rububiyah. So it's not that. The angel's asking everybody, who did you worship? So this book is used to worship Allah. Get with it, brothers and sisters. If you really want your society, your community to have Islah, if you really want that, then you will have to be here like a stranger. Spend your time like a stranger. Be a stranger. So actual regard for the Quran is what? The regard for the Quran is to do what? Is to be able to read it. Is to be able to memorize it. Regard for it to be able to reflect, using it to reflect upon future events. To apply it. That's regard. That starts society to do what? It starts to correct, rectify. Actual regard for the Sunnah of the Messenger of Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Obtaining comprehension about these 2 sources of knowledge. Why comprehension? Now it means what? Understanding. To gain understanding of it so that it's applied properly. Clarifying for people through sound knowledge the correct rules of belief contained in these 2 foundations. So their belief won't be what? It won't be shaken. This is the design to which the Islamic society must adhere. The Islamic society must maintain the boundaries that have been set by Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and take precautions against prohibited acts. Take precautions against doing what Allah has prohibited. It's prohibited acts that bring about a person's what's the opposite of optimism? his pessimism. People's pessimism is brought about by their doing prohibited acts. They become pessimistic because they sin. Allah SWT says, now, against doing prohibited acts, this is to ensure that society remains within the boundaries, and within the structure, within the value, that they hold on to the proper value, and they won't value something else instead of the religion. He, Azza wa Jal, has said, تِلْكَ حُدُودُ اللَّهِ فَلَا تَقْرَبُوهَا. These are the limits set by Allah, so do not approach them. Allah has forbidden any transgression of the limits He has set for His servants. These limits prohibit the commission of sin. They also prohibit the servants from willfully leaving acts of worship or disregarding legal rulings that they must uphold. Willfully, what does that mean? Willfully doing it. What does that mean? Don't do it on purpose. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. تؤمنون ببعض الكتاب وتكفرون ببعض وما جزاء من يفعل ذلك منكم إلا خزي في الحياة الدنيا ويوم القيامة يردون إلى شد العذاب وما الله بغافل عما تعملون. Are you going to believe in part of the book and deny part of the book? فما جزاء من يفعل ذلك منكم. The reward of anybody who is on his own decides he's going to leave the book, part of the book, leave it on his own. Sheikh Muhammad Manjani said, he's going to leave it on his own, rahimahullah. He's going to leave it on his own, and then he's going to say that what he decided to keep is enough to be a good Muslim. He's going to say what he left, he don't need it to be a good Muslim. There's no reward for anybody who does that except khizyun fil hayatid dunya. And khizyu is humiliation. Where? In hayatid dunya. وَيَوْمُ الْقِيَامَةِ يُرَدُّونَ إِلَى شَدِّ الْعَذَابِ. And the day of judgment he'll turn what? Into more punishment, more extreme punishment. And Allah is not unmindful of what we do. It's been an hour. Barakallahu feekum. I'm going over my time. So here I'm going to stop here. The next one will be the fundamental principles of social rectification. I speak tomorrow if you let me in the door. And the fundamentals of social rectification tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. Barakallahu feekum. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك وصلي على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.